go.
Tennessee and Kentucky. It's a game that has been played for well over a century. And the hate they feel toward each other is grown from how close they are to one another. They may share a border, but for a long time, these programs were worlds apart. Now they are closer than ever, closer than the line between love and hate.
We're all in tonight. There's no in between.
These are the games that make memories. These are the games that matter. Touchdown! He dives in from 11 yards out. These are the games that matter most. From Kroger Field in Lexington, Kentucky, this is SEC Saturday night and a border battle between Kentucky and Tennessee. It's the 115th meeting between these two border battle teams, and they go at it again tonight. Welcome, everybody. Tom Hart alongside Jordan Rogers. When you think of Kentucky season, you have to start at the quarterback position. And what initially was an experiment has turned into one of the most productive quarterbacks in the SEC, former wide receiver, now quarterback Lynn Bowden.
Yeah, forget the wide receiver, the former, whatever. He's a quarterback. He's an athlete. And this offense, I think, now finally having a dry game is about to catch its stride.
He has been the only player in college football to lead his team in rushing and receiving yards. He also leads the league in kickoff returns. Let's take a look at tonight's Star Watch. It's brought to you by State Farm, and it shows just what Lynn Bowden can do.
Now, you know the athleticism, but this kid is developing as a passer. Hasn't had the opportunity with some of the weather in their previous games, but Eddie Gran is ready to let him loose. He's dynamic with the ball in his hands, and every week, Eddie Gran brings something new, a new wrinkle to this table that ends up being really effective.
On the other side, the guys from Knoxville come in kind of on a roll, which is impressive considering the start to their season. A boat sank in the Tennessee River, a band member passed out at midfield, and they lost as 25-point favorites. But Jeremy Pruitt has put it together, and he's done so with a carousel at quarterback, and that might be the most surprising coaching job in the league this year.
Surprising and so impressive to see. This team just continues to get better on the defensive side of the ball. They're starting to gel on the offensive side, but this has been the difference. For quarterbacks, it's hard to have any success and continuity when you don't know who's going to line up at quarterback. It's going to be the true freshman, Brian Maurer, tonight. He's got some talent. He's had his ups and downs. They just need consistency out of that position.
We also expect to see Jared Garantano at some point tonight for Tennessee. And who he will be lining up behind has been a story all season. For more on that, let's go down the field as we say good evening to Cole Kubelik.
Good evening, Tom. The most impressive turnaround for this Tennessee football team may come from the offensive line and number 73, Trey Smith. He was diagnosed with blood clots with 5 games to go last season. He would miss those 5 games. Coming into fall camp, he would practice. It started at the end of July, but he would not be deemed cleared to play football until August the 28th. Since that time, Tennessee has had 53 practices. He has gone full contact in full pads in only 2 of those practices. Watch how this young man finishes football plays. The way that he brings physicality, the attitude that he brings to this Tennessee offensive line is much needed, and I believe the last 3 games that he's played of this season have been his best 3 games of this season. He's a leader. They need his attitude. They need his demeanor, and Trey Smith might be a big reason why this Tennessee offense gets rolling tonight.
It's an amazing job done by a guy who's the top recruit in the country when he showed up. Jeremy Pruitt, year number 2. And he has turned things around. A 9-12 season for Tennessee, but after a disastrous 1-4 start, as we mentioned, they have found their footing and they have found their rhythm. Meanwhile, on the other side for Kentucky, Mark Stoops has built a winner here in Lexington, a 10-win season last year, but as the 11th ranked team in the country, then went on the road to Rocky Top and got demolished. They are thinking that this is a revenge game tonight as they try to pull even with Tennessee over the last 2 years in a series that has been dominated by the team in orange. These 2 teams have played annually every year since 1919, back when Babe Ruth was still a member of the Boston Red Sox. No return for Kentucky after Tennessee won the toss and deferred. And so here's Lynn Bowden Jr., a special team star early on, and the most talented wide receiver on the team. He's from Mark Stoops' hometown of Youngstown. Turned down Big Ten teams to come to Kentucky. He wears his life on his sleeves, in his skin, and he is the life of this program. A quarterback that the team rallies around and loves to play for. And by the way, expect to see some wrinkles out of the Kentucky offense tonight. Some new looks. A.J. Rose is his tailback. And a little toss to Rose, who tries to find the edge and finds 3 yards before Jalen McCullough swallows him up.
That right there is a popular play we've seen from Kentucky. One of the wrinkles that Eddie Gran, the offensive coordinator, put in a few weeks ago. What I'm going to be watching in this first drive, how does Tennessee play Lynn Bowden? Do they respect him as a passer? Hasn't had the opportunity to show that in the past few games, but he is talented, and he'll hurt you if you give him an opportunity.
Eddie Gran, their OC, spent the off week digging into film and looking at other teams, even some that run the option. Bowden slips on the snap and can't quite recover. Through his hands and off the top of his helmet. Darrell Middleton ends up with the takedown.
Just an RPO there, a run-pass option. Bowden had a receiver in the slot, but he's trying to get the ball. He just doesn't catch the snap clean. Tries to get it there, but by that time he's too late. Good decision there, just to eat it and move on. But 3rd and 7. This is an area where Kentucky doesn't want to be.
Bowden's only completed 37% of his passes this season, but the last 2 games, as Jordan alluded to, played in driving rainstorms. Play clock at 5. Tennessee jumps. Bowden will see the play whistle dead. And what a difference for this Kentucky offense, 3rd and 2 versus 3rd and 7.
Oh, Eddie Gran's got a little smile on his face. He gets away from those pass plays.
Offside, defense number 13, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Junior DeAndre Johnson couldn't hold his water.
Yeah, just right here off the edge. Little early, there's a delay, and when you're a defensive lineman, you got to find out, do they clap and snap immediately? Do they wait a 1.5 seconds? You'll start to feel out that silent count as the game goes on, but didn't have a jump on it there, or too much of a jump.
Rose the tailback, 3rd down 2. Same play we saw before. Rose has the 1st down. And a physical runner as he takes guys with him past the 40. Nigel Warrior in on the stop. It's a gain of 9.
This is just a version of the speed option, but they're faking the zone read. So they want that end defender to bite up, attack the mesh like it's zoned to the opposite side, and then all of a sudden it's a pitch, and they have no contain.
So a fresh set of downs for Lynn Bowden and the Cats. A very deliberate pace for Kentucky tonight. That's a change. Bowden to the air for the first time, and he floats one in to Cleveland Thomas Jr. Henry To'o with the stop for Tennessee.
Toa has been a player that has been really important for the Tennessee defense. You see Nigel Warrior in there. Really, they're everything. He'll play at the line of scrimmage, make tackles in the run game, and he's good in coverage as well.
On 2nd and 2, they stretch it with Rose. Sheds one, changes direction. Not a wise move. Daniel Batuli and company swallow him up. It's a loss of 4.
So this is one of the new wrinkles for Eddie Gran. They're going to start reading interior defensive linemen. Watch this defender right here. He's actually going to be unblocked, and that's who Lynn Bowden is going to read. If he stays inside, he'll hand it off to the outside, and pretty soon that defender will start to follow the running back, and that's when the quarterback, Lynn Bowden, will keep it and get vertical. That's a dangerous play and a new wrinkle that we'll see more of tonight.
Bowden 10th in the SEC in rushing, 4 wide here now for the Cats. Tennessee 43rd in the country against the run. They've been great defensively lately. They jump again. Flag comes and Bowden takes off. Gain of 7 and a first down run. It was Kavon Bennett who jumped that time. Both he and DeAndre Johnson from the same position.
Offside, defense, number 95. That penalty will be declined. Result of the play, first down.
And right now, Jeremy Pruitt is pulling, well, he's not pulling his hair out, but he is frustrated with that defensive line. I mean, you kind of, one of them, you're like, okay, guys, watch the football. You can't have that happen twice. They're going on silent cadence. They're just clapping. You got to just watch the ball.
Here's a new look for Kentucky, inverted wishbone. They spent a lot of time in the last week on the triple option. First look from OC Eddie Gran. It's Kavashe Smoke. And Smoke is run out of bounds after a gain of 7. Alante Taylor, the sophomore defensive back, got him out. So a brand new look for Eddie Gran with this formation.
Yeah, and watch this. You're going to have multiple guys and another pull. You got 3 guys pulling to the outside on this play. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 guys. This is a new wrinkle. This is like the modern triple option. You see this out of the military academies, but this is Eddie Gran's take on it.
And out of the gun. Now Rose is back there. And he's got blockers in front. Tennessee able to sneak through. Daniel Batuli, the senior from Nashville, missed the first 2 games of the season because of a knee injury, and getting him back has been a key for Jeremy Pruitt's defense.
Yeah, he's such an important piece there. Not only does he really keep those linebackers together, he communicates everything to that defense. And against a team like Kentucky that does so much with formations and unbalance and multiple guys in the backfield, that Mike linebacker and Daniel Batuli's calls before the snap, that's what's going to be important for Tennessee stopping the run.
Those linebackers might be the strength of this Tennessee defense between Batuli and To'o, the freshman. Option look. Bowden keeps it, and he gets submarine. Bryce Thompson, the sophomore from Irmo, South Carolina, had 3 picks last week against UAB, and he gets up gingerly. And Thompson's going to have to exit this game. It was a Kentucky first down. And that's a big loss for this Tennessee team for the time being.
Field was a first down beyond the line to gain. The previous play is under review.
We'll let Ken Williamson and Ron Leatherwood, the replay official, think about it. Back to Lex in a moment.
After further review,
they adjusted
runner
the
was
spot.
rolled down at the 38.5-yard line. Therefore, it will be fourth down. The ball will be placed on the left hash. Clock will start on the ready for play signal.
And Kentucky will keep the offense on the field on a 4th and short. They've converted 50% of them, and they got a new quarterback in for this 4th and short. It's Sawyer Smith.
And Lynn Bowden's down here at receiver.
Sawyer Smith is known as a passer, but he is a willing runner at QB. And the sneak is enough.
Interesting there. So the one thing that Lynn Bowden probably isn't ready for at the quarterback position yet is getting snaps under the center, right? So you bring in your pro-style quarterback who has done it before to get that quarterback sneak.
Sawyer Smith has been limited essentially since the Florida game. Had a great game through the air against the Gators, a game that Kentucky let go late, and he had plenty of help pushing him across the line to convert the 4th down. 11th play of the opening drive for Kentucky. Draw. Bowden to the outside, chased by Batuli. He finally catches up to him after a gain of 11. This is what Lynn Bowden brings to the table. Fire and emotion. He has fun when he plays a game. He's a great competitor. We'll talk about the contrast between his teammates believing in him and what Tennessee has at quarterback.
Daryl Middleton there, 97, the defensive end of the short side for Tennessee, just loses contain, gets too far inside, and Bowden's got such good vision. You can't leave a gap open. He'll find it.
Bowden keeps it. And lost his footing in the cutback. It's a gain of 12. How has tempo, and the slow tempo specifically, affected Tennessee's defense?
Well, I think it's just this first drive. Tennessee's trying to evaluate these new wrinkles. What formations are they getting into? What tendencies are they going to have? And right now, this defense doesn't have it figured out yet. I mean, they'll get off the field on this next drive and they'll say, okay, here's what they're doing. When they come out in this set, this is what they like to do. But this first drive, they're just not seeing it yet.
Derek Ansley, former defensive backs coach here and at Alabama with Jeremy Pruitt, came to Rocky Top from the Raiders. There's that fake toss. Bowden trying to keep it this time. And To'o is there, among others. It's a gain of 2. Henry To'o, good-looking young player for this Tennessee team. And speaking of looks, they're rocking the orange trousers for the first time in a long time.
It's a good look. I like it. It's coming from Vandy guy, and I like the orange. I think it looks good. I'd bring those orange pants on the road a little bit more.
It's bright, no doubt about it.
Watch Kentucky run off tackle. Look at this spacing right here between the slot defender and the right tackle. They want to create space to force you to either play there, and then they'll throw it or they'll run it.
Sean Schamberger blitz from there, and Bowden with the opposite way. And we've got a flag on the play. Batuli with the stop, gain of 7.
And what I love there, that's an RPO, a run pass option. So if they bring blitz, Bowden has the opportunity to flip it out there to his slot defender. There he felt more comfortable keeping it himself and going to the left, but he has both options on a play like that.
By mistake, no flag in the play. And Tennessee left with Kentucky left with a 3rd and 2. Kentucky trying to get in the end zone on their opening drive for the first time this year. Kentucky without a guy they'd love to use here, Ahmad Wagner, the former basketball player. And they couldn't get the play call in, and so Bowden had to use a timeout.
Timeout. Kentucky, first timeout of the half.
The opening drive for the Kentucky Wildcats continues. 14 plays and 8.5 minutes into this game. He lost a great leader when this guy went on to the NFL. He was honored while we were at break with the Lott Impact Trophy, and there was no one more impactful in this program last year on the defensive end than Josh Allen. First-round pick, had a chance to hang out with him last night, and he reinforced what we already heard. This is a big game for Kentucky, and they want payback after going in and losing at Tennessee last year. 3rd and 2. Continues to drive with a first down run.
Boy, Bowden having a little trouble with these snaps early on. We saw the bobbled one, I think, first play, second play, and he almost dropped that snap as well. Something to keep an eye on. It's cold out there. He's played a receiver almost his whole life. Played quarterback in high school, but he's used to having gloves on when it's cold. It's a different story out there. He's a hand warmer. Some of those warm little packs in it.
Yeah, 42 degrees here in Lexington right now. That'll dip a few more spots before we're done. 1st and goal, Kentucky. Rose sidesteps a guy and is able to pick up a yard. Kentucky has won 16 plays. They have run 14 of those 16 times. And SEC fans watch this offense and they say, as opposing fans, why can't we stop what Mark Stoops is doing?
It's so hard, and we talked to Jeremy Pruitt about it last night, and he's like, look, it's a modern take on the triple option. I mean, they get in and out of formations unbalanced, 2 tight ends here to one side. It just looks you're not used to seeing week in and week out.
And now Wildcat as Bowden splits out. This is Rose to take the snap. And Rose pushes towards the goal line, and he is in. The 3rd cat to take a snap in this first quarter, and Kentucky takes an early lead on a dominating opening drive. They take 17 plays and 10-18 off the clock.
What a way to set the tone if you're Kentucky. Here at home, it's a little cold. Long drive. That's a great start.
Now, point afters have been an experiment for Kentucky this season. Chance Poore, who lost his job after missing what would have been a game-winning field goal against Florida, is on for the point after. They're taking an extra look at this one.
What a stretch. That's dangerous now. But when it works, you love it.
Ruled a touchdown on the field. And a quick look confirms what they saw for A.J. Rose. 4th touchdown of the season for the one-time hockey player out of Cleveland, Ohio. Chance Poore, who's just 4 of 6 on extra points this season. High snap. Everything else is good. And so is Kentucky's opening drive. It's a 7-0 lead. Rose gets it in. And when we return, we'll hear from last year's Kentucky star. Who was a lightly recruited wide receiver out of high school, came to Lexington, developed into one of the most menacing defensive players in college football. The NFL took notice, and on draft day, he went 7th overall to the Jaguars. He's standing by with Cole.
Tom, you mentioned the key word, development. You're kind of the poster boy of development in college football. You put a lot of work in, and it paid off for you being a top 10 draft pick. When you come back, you receive the Lot Impact Trophy. You hang out with your teammates. You steal appetizers from us at dinner. How does it feel to be back in Lexington?
I mean, I'm home, man. I made a home here. My family made a home here, man. The fan base is great. You see, it's a freezing day out, but the stadium's almost packed, man. And that's how you can tell how the program has grown over the years, man. And it's great to be a part of. We're up 7-0 right now. Hopefully, we'll keep pounding that on and make it a good game.
A lot of times, as a former player myself, and Jordan and I have talked about this, it takes you 5-10 years to appreciate what college football actually was.
Yeah.
I feel like you have that appreciation now. What does being a former Kentucky football player mean to you?
I mean, I did all I can do, man. I tried to make a legacy for these guys, man, and I tried to, instill that hard work, that grit, that dirtiness, and and it's their job to fulfill that, and I feel like they're doing it, but they got a little ways to go, but. I'll be back here to support them always. I'm Big Blue to the day I die, and I'm gonna keep cheering the boys no matter what.
I know you got back from the Tennessee game. That's one that's a little bit personal for you, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. It's a rivalry game. This is worse than Louisville. The school down the street. Yeah, this is worse than them. So we trying to whoop on them. We owe them from last year. They how football goes. But hopefully the defense gonna step up right here and make some big plays and win this game.
Get one more after this play, Tom.
Brian Maurer in a quarterback, and Kentucky does make a play.
What did I say?
On the first. It's Jamar Watson.
We make big plays.
Josh is going to go ahead and take it for me. I want to get your thoughts on one more thing, because I know Kentucky fans will appreciate this. I have not heard you address publicly why you participated in the bowl game last year. You didn't have to do it.
Yeah.
You would have been a top 10 pick either way. Why did you?
Man, I play for my brothers, man. I tell you, this game's bigger than oneself. This game's bigger than me. I started with my brothers, and I'm going to finish with them. I told that from day one. I knew I was going to be great when I first started. And, I told them I was going to finish with them. And, I'm a man of my word, and I keep that.
Thank you, Josh.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on.
It's great to see Josh Allen up until the point where he literally stole the meatballs from the appetizer plate last night at dinner. And I know he's excited to be back. Tennessee's offense went backwards on the first play under freshman quarterback Brian Maurer, on the 11th true freshman to start at quarterback in Tennessee's history, in the first ever to make a start against a top 5 team. Vols facing a 3rd and 9. Maurer's got a strong arm, and he's got time, and it slips through the hands of Juwan Jennings, tipped right in front of Jennings. And a flag down in the Tennessee backfield. Tennessee has started 4 different quarterbacks this
Holding
year.
on the offense, number 64. Penalties declined. 4th down.
Jeremy Pruitt isn't just looking for production there, he's looking for leadership.
Yeah, and this is a true freshman, and he's a really good player, but he has had some mistakes, especially last week against UAB. Got beat inside a couple times for a sack, got beat outside. Gets beat inside there, and you got to let him go. Maurer does a good job of buying some time and almost getting one of Juwan Jennings, but offensive line's got to get shored up. Too many penalties. Too many free hits on the quarterback this year for Tennessee.
Snap, drop, and it's blocked! Kentucky will have fantastic field position. Josh Paschal got in there, and the punter, Paxton Brooks, instead of pulling it down and finding space, kicked it right into him.
I said Lynn Bowden was having a tough time catching snaps. A drop snap here by Tennessee, and he gets up right away and looks as if he tries to check and see if there's rush coming. When that ball's on the ground, you got to kick it right away. I mean, as soon as you get the ball, you got to get rid of it. You can't look and see if the rush is coming. They are coming. So a mistake with the drop and a mistake right here of pausing for that quick second. He had time to get it off. Huge play for Kentucky.
Hidden yardage for Kentucky. Special teams has been a difference maker. And now Bowden will take it over the left side, and he slides for a gain of about 2.5.
That's a peanut butter play right there, Jordan.
Explain peanut butter, Cole.
We talked to Jeremy Pruitt about it, and he said, that's the peanut butter play. And Jordan and I kind of looked at each other and said, what are you talking about? I talked to him before the game. I said, peanut butter's got to stand for something. He said, no, a little fake toss, quarterback counter back underneath. He said, 2 years ago, I had never seen it. Had to come up with the name for it. So it's a peanut butter play.
I mean, I'm a fan of peanut butter, too. I don't know.
I mean, if it keeps working for Kentucky, it's going to be peanut butter jelly time. Smoke and Rodriguez are the tailbacks. Here's Cavassier Smoke. He breaks free. Pass to Cavassier. Touchdown, Kentucky from 22 yards out.
Reaches at the end here. That foot stays in. Oh, yeah, that's a touchdown.
How about the disparity in the two scoring drives? The first one, 17 plays, more than 10 minutes off the clock. That one, they need just 2 plays to take it 24 yards in less than a minute. And in a series, and an extra point is blocked. And the adventures continue with the Kentucky kicking game. Darrell Middleton, the junior from Knoxville by way of East Mississippi Community College, got in there. But before that, Cavassier Smoke got in there. Thanks to the block punt by Josh Paschal, Cats had a short field, and they took advantage. This rivalry looking blue here early on. Cavassier Smoke with his 5th touchdown run of the season. Tennessee's only run 3 offensive plays, and they trail by 2 touchdowns. Not the start the Volunteers were looking for. Fair catch taken, and let's take you back to the touchdown run.
Well, it's a simple zone scheme, but it's the misdirections that Eddie Grand uses in this offense. Watch this. This orbit motion behind the quarterback is going to pull both these linebackers up just a little bit, and that's what sets up the run to come back the opposite side. Great job up front, zone blocking, but it's that subtle misdirection, the eye candy. Stealing eyes there to get some hesitation out of the backers and get them out of place.
So far, we got peanut butter and candy in the first quarter.
Hey, I mean, we did just have Halloween.
Indeed. Tennessee's ground game, led by Ty Chandler. A program that over the years produced 1,000-yard rushers, it seemed, every season. Hasn't had one in a while. Jalen Hurd was the last. You got to go back a few more years before that. The running game had been a proud Tennessee tradition, and last year Chandler was their leading rusher with 630 yards on the year.
I think Ty Chandler's a really good player. I like the compliment they have as well with Tim Jordan, a little bit different style running back. But if you're Jim Chaney right now, you got to be careful with your young quarterback that he doesn't look at that scoreboard and say, we're down 13, I got to start forcing throws.
Maurer will put it in the air this time, and it is incomplete. Trying to find Marquez Callaway, and Maurer has started this game 0 for 2.
And that's the thing. If you're Jim Chaney in Tennessee, you want to run the football. So you got to just ignore the scoreboard right now. That's aside the fact it's 3rd and 8, but from a scheme standpoint, ignore the scoreboard, get your young quarterback some throws, get him comfortable. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to throw something short of the sticks here, get somebody in space, and not ask Maurer to do too much this early.
Correction, Maurer 1 of 3. 3rd and 8 now. Looking at Jennings. Will instead let it go over the middle, and that short hops his intended receiver, Josh Palmer. It'll be another 3 and out for Tennessee and the freshman Brian Maurer.
Yeah, they were trying to get a quick throw to really their everything. Their leader, their best player on offense right now, Jauan Jennings. He was covered, and Maurer just didn't get enough on that ball. Had a dig open behind him, but had to escape the pocket. Didn't get enough arm strength on that throw.
Riley Lovingood is the long snapper for Tennessee. Remember, it was an adventure last time from Paxton Brooks. Brooks got his last one blocked by Pascal, number 4. Handles that snap and gets it away. It hangs up and hangs up short. It'll take a Tennessee hop, and that one's going to bounce all the way inside the 20. 57-yard punt.
Shrimp po' boy, fried chicken. Man, Academy is the best selection in bait. Oh, gotta get a badonkadonk. What else do we have here? Oh, the twitching mullet. Definitely. Gone fishing.
So Lynn Bowden back on the field for Kentucky. So far, the Cats have run 19 plays, and he's only put it in the air twice. Hesitation for Rose before he gets through the hole. Past Batuli. And To'oTo'o, the freshman, is holding his leg, and this is a guy Tennessee can't afford to lose. Out of the powerful De La Salle program in Northern California, and he's holding his right knee. He was the first freshman to lead the team in tackles in the opener since Dwayne Goodrich in '96. Henry To'oTo'o has been an impact player since the moment he stepped on campus in Knoxville. And this would be a major loss for Jeremy Pruitt and company.
Oh, it'd be huge. Day 1 starter, so smart beyond his years, a true freshman, but doesn't play like it. You see him right in the middle of your screen here.
Number 11, White. It's essentially non-contact. It seemed like it happened when he got twisted around.
Yeah, which again, non-contact, that's never a good sign. But he is getting up.
To'oTo'o got his first chance to play varsity because of an injury to another linebacker. Got pulled up from JV. And then finally, as a senior, he actually played both ways. They lost their star running back, and so they showed film to him of another De La Salle star who would be one of the top recruits of all places in Tennessee history, Kevin Simon. Simon is now on Pruitt's staff on the player development side, and To'oTo'o saw that film and said, yeah, I can play both ways. He keeps looking at the Jumbotron, hoping they'll show exactly how the injury happened. We'll see if we can update you on his condition. Great article by David Ubben in The Athletic talking about To'oTo'o's impact on the program. J.J. Peterson, a redshirt freshman, replaces him at linebacker. Deja vu back to the ground game for Kentucky and another first down.
And this is where you got to be really careful if you're the defensive coordinator for Tennessee, Derek Ansley and Jeremy Pruitt. You can get lulled to sleep here with Kentucky in their ground game. And you can see Tennessee's trying to counteract that by they're starting to bring safeties down. You bring safeties down, that's when that play action can hit you. And Lynn Bowden, he can throw it deep when they need him to. So at some point, you're going to see that play action as they come out here in this new kind of triple option look that they just instituted this week.
Kavosiey Smoke is the feature tailback behind Bowden out of the gun. And he's going to throw out of it. Bowden lets it go on a wheel route, and that is out of bounds, incomplete. Christopher Rodriguez with the release from the backfield.
And this is what I was talking about. Tennessee's bringing a safety down. Watch this. They're going to bring this safety down, and this post right here is really where Lynn Bowden needs to throw the football. It's a post wheel, but look at this post. If he throws that now, there's nobody there. He's got the entire middle of the field. A little tighter coverage on the outside for the wheel route, but that's what I thought was coming. Those safeties come down. You want to replace it with that post. He's going to go to the sideline, talk to Eddie, and know they missed one.
There's that fake toss. Bowden keeps it in the middle. And it's a gain of 7. It's the same play we've seen a few times. And when we return, Jordan Rogers is going to explain why he thinks Jeremy Pruitt calls it peanut butter. It's a 13-0 Kentucky lead. First quarter already in the books at Kroger Field.
On behalf of the United States Air Force ROTC at the University of Kentucky, we'd like to say thank you to our brothers and sisters who are serving at home and abroad.
Thank you! And thanks to Lieutenant Colonel Katie Buss and the Kentucky Air Force ROTC. They were helpful with us yesterday. A little demo that we did for SEC Nation. The importance of the kicking game. Tennessee's had a huge advantage of that. They haven't missed a point after in 5 years. Kentucky's already missed one tonight, and they've missed 3 in their last 2 games. Got a stoppage of play coming out of the quarter. Got some trash down on the field. How about
Is that a diaper?
Kentucky?
Check it. Don't smell it. Whatever it is.
Kentucky has controlled this game. They have dominated the time of possession through 1 quarter. Helped out by their longest drive of the season, the opening drive. Crash from the edge. Bowden goes that direction, and he slides his way through. Will be just short of the marker, and that's going to leave 4th and short for Kentucky.
That's a really nice job by Batuli replacing over the top. If your defensive end is going to lose contain and crash that mesh, linebacker has to fill in the run. Nice job by 35.
Aussie punter Max Duffy on to punt it away. He had a long run on a fake punt against Missouri. You'll see what he does. He holds the ball, waits for his coverage team to get downfield, and he will keep his eyes up and survey the defense. Marquez Callaway and Eric Gray both back to return for Tennessee. Duffy angles it back to the middle of the field, and a fair catch taken at the 20-yard line by the freshman from Memphis, Gray. 45-yard punt. This is a series that began in 1893, and back in 1950, Bear Bryant and the Cats suffered their only loss of the season at the hands of the Vols. It's been dominated by the guys in orange in a series. It started way back in 1893. Peyton Manning and Tim Couch, the highlight of this series in '97. I don't even play for that trophy anymore. I believe it's hiding in a storage closet in Knoxville. And Peyton Manning, part of Philip Fulmer's run where he never lost to Kentucky. 17-0. Here's Juwan Jennings on a catch and run. Beautiful route, delivered on time, and it's the longest gain of the night for Tennessee, a gain of 30.
I love the play call here by Jim Chaney. Just a slant route on the inside. You got Juwan Jennings, your best player. He's looking early for that. That's an RPO. And a nice, easy throw to get Maurer some rhythm. Hasn't really got any rhythm, this offense in general, but especially this young quarterback.
Limited time for Maurer this season. Beset by a couple of injuries. Back to a slant. That one's knocked away. That time he was trying to find Tyler Bird. He's having a resurgent season after a great freshman year.
And
3 years ago.
And that time, maybe hand the ball off. I mean, you can call an RPO the entire game, and you don't know until you know which one you should have done. But young quarterback, you complete a slant there, get the same play call, want to do it again. Sometimes you want to default to hand that football off, especially on first down. Get a couple yards, get things moving in the right direction, stay ahead of the sticks.
It seems like they want to keep things pretty simple for Maurer. And on 2nd and 10, had Jennings, got it to him late. Jennings trying to run for it. And he gets bottled up. Cash Daniel in there. And it's a loss of 1. Along with Jamin Davis.
That was really the pressure there. Maurer was looking downfield at first. Really wanted to push the ball downfield, but the pressure on the left side from Kentucky made him get rid of that ball sooner than he'd like.
Tennessee hasn't converted a 3rd down yet. Kentucky brings 4. Maurer delivers on time out to Josh Palmer. And there's another Tennessee 1st down in this drive.
Well, that's a rope. That's a great, confident throw by a true freshman on a big 3rd down. That's part of that talent that you see. I mean, Jarrett Garantano is a talented quarterback. He's had his ups and downs from a decision-making standpoint. That's why Brian Maurer is in there, but that's a big-time throw under pressure. Put it right on his receiver.
Maurer, because of health, hasn't been able to finish many games. Knocked out of both the Mississippi State and Alabama contests. Lets it go deep. It is incomplete. Trying to find Jennings, their leading receiver, and one of the best in the league. Jennings, also the leader of this team. Coverage by Brandon Eccles. Jauan Jennings is so important to this Tennessee team in a variety of ways. A real playmaker and a leader.
You see the safety coming over the top there, and you could notice with that angle, Brian Maurer had his eyes on Jennings the whole time. Got to look these safeties off if you're going to give your guy an opportunity on the outside. Stared him down that time. Took the safety right to him.
Ty Chandler finds 3. Jennings actually started a quarterback in the South Carolina game, and it turned into one of his career games as a receiver. One of 4 different quarterbacks to start a game this season for UT.
He played a little quarterback in high school, but that's just another way for Jim Chaney to get really one of his best players, the football. Line him up back there.
Well, he looks winded early. 4-man rush. And that one's complete over the middle to Josh Palmer. And Maurer has found some rhythm. That completion goes for 14.
And the ball's coming out on time. That one was a dig route, a timing route. Not supposed to hitch here, and he doesn't. Watch this. Watch his footwork. 1, 2, 3. That back foot hits the ground. He holds for a second and gets it out on time. If he hitches there, he's too late, and it's probably an incompletion. Really confident decision and accurate throw from this true freshman.
Tim Jordan in at tailback. And Jordan finds just a couple of yards. DeAndre Square in there for Kentucky. Flags after the play, plenty of them. Eruption from the home fans seemed to imply it was something coming from the Tennessee side. We'll see.
Trey Smith kind of leapfrogged in there when the play was ending. Not really sure exactly what he was thinking.
Leapfrog?
Little frogger.
It's a big man doing a leapfrog down there.
You should see him play Duck Duck Goose. Ken Williamson is our white hat tonight.
After the play was over, unnecessary roughness, offense number 73. 15 penalty, after the down, it's 2nd down.
You're going to see 73 right here, Trey Smith. He's working on Cash Daniel there, and that's the thing. Cash plays with passion. He gets guys frustrated.
I'm willing to bet that Cash Daniel has already done something in this game to Trey Smith that our cameras haven't caught.
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee it. I mean, that's just the passion that Cash plays with, and you don't like it when you're on the other side. You love it when he's on your team, but he forces you to make emotional decisions.
2nd and Lorenzen for Tennessee. Maurer's going to tuck it And scramble out of bounds. We talked to, this isn't picking on Castellano, by the way. We sat down with him a couple weeks ago, and he said, listen, I have to play with an edge. I'm the type of player that needs to get under other people's skin. I believe that's how football is meant to be played, and I won't apologize for the way I played. But after some of the stuff that he did in the Florida game, he just hasn't been the same player since. He hasn't played with that edge.
No, and I think he probably got a talking to from this coaching staff about keeping that within the whistles. But if he doesn't play with that chip, he's not the same player. He's not the biggest. He's not the fastest. He needs to play with that edge to be effective.
Back from injury tonight, 3rd and 20 now. And now we're going to try to scramble again. But a long way to go. And it gets inside the 10. It's a gain of 17 and certainly puts Tennessee in field goal range for their automatic kicker, Brent Cimaglia.
And I like the decision there by Maurer. Kentucky dropped everyone back. Their linebackers were playing about 8-9 yards at the snap. Take a drop, everyone plays soft. Just get some positive yards. Make it an easier 3 points.
This will be a 26-yard attempt for Cimaglia. He hasn't missed inside 30 this season. And that one fits inside the upright. Tennessee on the board after an 11-play, 71-yard drive. Peyton Manning's show, including one where he dressed up as Elvis and went to Graceland to play football. It's hysterical.
He's unbelievable.
He is unbelievable.
That show is so good.
Speaking of, unbelievable win for LSU today, 46-41. Bama made it close, couldn't get a onside kick at the end. Ohio State dominated Maryland. They embarrassed Mike Locksley's team today. We only have 5 undefeateds remaining, including the Golden Gophers of Minnesota with a big win in the Twin Cities against Penn State. And Clemson leading NC State 28-zip in the second quarter.
Minnesota right now controlling their own destiny.
Here's A.J. Rose. So tell me why you think Jeremy Pruitt calls Kentucky's main play peanut butter.
Yeah, against a lot of this misdirection from Kentucky, what you want is your linebackers, your 2 linebackers in the box to be glued together. And what I mean by that, if one moves 3 steps to the right, the other needs to move 3 steps to the right. If they get too far attached or overplay in the same direction, that's when the cutback or the counter will hit you big time. So those linebackers need to be glued together. And last time I checked, peanut butter's pretty sticky.
Sticky, yeah. On 2nd and 9, it's Rose again, and he's got a huge hole on the outside. He's over 1,000 yards in his career, the 37th in Kentucky history. That one goes for 24 yards for the Eagle Scout out of Cleveland.
And again, Eddie Gran will dictate what your defense has to do. And in that time, spread out just enough to leave just one linebacker in the box you see there. And when one linebacker's there, if he gets blocked, there's nobody left. Great formation design to dictate Tennessee's defense by Eddie Gran.
This is definitely an unbalanced attack for Kentucky. 23 runs, only 3 passes, and it's been successful. Rose taken down right at the line of scrimmage.
Hey, come on.
Karak Garland, freshman defensive lineman with the stop.
Sub.
1,026 now for Rose. Report from Cole on the sideline. Henry To'o starting to get loose and may return soon. In fact, To'o is out there right now, and Batuli in on that stop, but only after Christopher Rodriguez picks up 6.
Yeah, it's on that last defensive series. Henry To'o went to the injury tent, came out. They took him to the locker room. He returned to the sideline with a new brace on that right knee, came back, warmed it up a little bit, jogged some, and he's been in there helping this Tennessee defense on this series.
And look, even a little hobbled, not 100%, You need him in there. He's so smart for a young player. Against all this misdirection and unbalanced that Kentucky will throw at you, you need his mind in there as much as you need his body in there.
Meanwhile, another injury for Tennessee. Aubrey Solomon, junior out of Lee County High School in South Georgia, gets taken out of the game.
That's just as big as toe-to-toe in my mind. I feel like he's been playing really good football inside for Tennessee.
He has.
And 4 tackles and a tackle for loss against UAB last time out for the Volunteers. 3rd and 5. Bowden calls his own number, finds 2 yards. Matthew Butler, who entered for Solomon, was in on the tackle for UT.
A really good job there by Butler. If he doesn't make that tackle, that's going to be a 1st down. And now with the 4th and short, Eddie Grant's going to roll the dice.
Plus field position. Kicking game has been an adventure for Kentucky. Wouldn't gain much with a punt. And Tennessee's going to have to burn a timeout. Jeremy Pruitt trying to get his guys aligned and had an issue with the officials too. May have been a substitution situation. Back in a moment.
Captain Brandon Rabin, currently forward deployed in Afghanistan, Helmand Province. I want to give a big shout out to my mom and dad. I love you. But also, I want to give a huge shout out to the best team in the country. Go Vols! Go Vols! Tennessee, let's get them, baby. Let's get them.
Love it, including the old school Tennessee logo. Shout out to our guys on our crew that have served. Corey Annan was an Army specialist, our graphics interface coordinator, and Joe White served in Iraq 07 to 09, part of the 101st Airborne stationed in Fort Campbell. Thank you, gentlemen. Fourth and 2 for Kentucky. Bowden cuts it back up and then surges through somehow. And he picks up a cat 1st down.
Lynn Bowden is listed at 199 pounds, and he just ran through Matthew Butler, who's listed at 290. Watch Bowden put his foot down here. Oh! In Butler's defense, he was falling a little bit, but still, that's a big man for a much smaller Bowden to run through.
Bowden may not be a heavyweight, but he is solidly built. They run smoke on late. An inverted wishbone look that Kentucky just introduced tonight. And Bowden to throw out of it. And it is picked off! Nigel Warrior with the interception. And the senior takes it down the sideline and may go! Warrior all the way for a 7-8-yard interception return. Smokey shed the blanket. Tennessee's something to cheer about for the first time tonight.
And this wishbone wrinkle, love the play design, and really Bowden's got him, but one of those things that is not second nature for a wide receiver converted to quarterback is flipping your hips and getting your feet and everything aligned so you can put enough on the football, and Nigel Warrior was in the right place at the right time.
They may stop this thing. It looked like Warrior stepped out of bounds, maybe as far back as the 30-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to take a look at it. They're thinking about it. Yeah, they will.
Ruling on the field was a return of a touchdown for an interception. The previous play is under review.
Watch Warrior's left foot. You got black on white over there?
Yeah, it sure looks like it.
Was not ruled on the field. It's really hard to see. I mean, I think I see his shoe over the line. And then they got to figure out what yard line it was and the time if this thing comes back. But Nigel Warrior, the senior from the Atlanta area, has really learned the game. Son of a great player. The great Dale Carter, who's a first-round pick in '92 and a 4-time Pro Bowler. Kind of like Josh Allen developed here for Kentucky, Nigel Warrior has become a smarter football player over the years for Tennessee. It's his 4th pick of the season. Taking over the team lead for Bryce Thompson, who got all 3 of his in one game. We're told they're going to bring this back. They just got to figure out the clock and the yardage. Regardless, it looked like Kentucky was going to add to their lead, and Tennessee with a big-time takeaway.
After review, the runner stepped out at the 45.5-yard line with Tennessee 45.5. It'll be 1st and 10 at that spot. Please set the clock for 5 minutes and 29 seconds.
Further back than I initially thought.
Oh, and you're right, Tom. This is a huge momentum play. Kentucky had a chance to score there. And yeah, his foot out right there is what they're saying.
So Brian Maurer will have a short field to work with. And he hands it off to Ty Chandler. And Chandler takes it into Kentucky territory. Look at the misfire from Lynn Bowden.
And Bowden had Justin Riggins tied in really for a touchdown. Watch his feet. Look at his feet. He's not set. He's fallen to the left. His feet are way facing out to the left. He's just not able to get enough velocity on this ball. Watch right before he throws it. Bam. Look at his feet pointing in that direction. He's not able to get enough velocity on this ball. If he throws that up over the top, Warrior might have a chance to make a play on it, but if not, that could be a touchdown.
It's a version of a play that they used to great success against Arkansas. That one fired incomplete to Jennings. Yusuf Corker the coverage. In Tennessee looking at a 3rd and 3. Maurer just 5 of 11.
Going empty set. Gives Maurer an opportunity to see the whole field. Kentucky's not going to be able to hide their coverage. They're playing zone.
Austin Pope, the tight end motion. Near side incomplete. No flag. Jamari Brown starting for Cedric Dort at that cornerback spot was all over it. And Maurer, who converted a couple key 3rd downs in the last drive, can't do it here.
That's the right place to go with the ball. They were in a soft cover 2. 2 safeties over the top. Corners playing outside leverage inside towards the receiver. You want to throw slants here. But just a great break on the ball by Jamari Brown, who started this game in place of Cedric Dort at cornerback. A coach's decision makes a big play there.
3rd, 3 and out for Tennessee here in this first half. Josh Ali back to receive this punt. Will ask for a fair catch. And with a shout in his face, he takes it at the 14-yard line. 29-yard punt. Cats offense will take the field again. Chilly night here in Lexington. Temperature in the low 40s, and Kentucky with a 10-point lead on Tennessee. When it comes to play selection, Kentucky has run 31 plays. They've run the ball 27 times. So I'm going to ask you the same question I asked you during the Missouri game a couple weeks ago. How come SEC defenses can't stop it?
Eddie Grant has done a great job of bringing something new to the table each week. This week it's the triple option, but this is the game plan that they want. You look up, it's almost halftime. This game is flying by. They're controlling it, and minus the interception, it's a near-perfect game for Kentucky on offense.
And they'll run it again. Bowden looking for a block. He got it. And he's got speed. Lynn Bowden Jr. finally popped out of bounds by Alontae Taylor after a gain of 21. Spacing wasn't what they wanted from an option situation, but Bowden took advantage, and now he's hurt. And this is where things will change drastically for Kentucky. They're wondering if it was a helmet-to-helmet hit. Could be targeting.
Personal foul, targeting, defense number 2. The previous play is under review.
They're looking at the left ankle of Lynn Bowden Jr., an issue that bothered him in the Missouri game as now he tries to stretch out a little bit. Targeting call was on Alontae Taylor, a sophomore out of Coffee County Central High School.
That's not a defensive player, so it's got to be crown of the helmet. There is contact there with the crown of the helmet, but what they're really looking for this year is an attack.
So they're looking for an attack in addition to the crown of the helmet, even though by definition it would fit it from the crown of the helmet standpoint. Right. But is he attacking the ball carrier?
Right. You see a dip. I don't see a lunge. I don't see an exorbitant amount of effort to hit him with the crown of his helmet. To me, yes, there is contact there. But I think Alontae Taylor was trying to run through that tackle. So
we've got our rules official, Matt Austin, back in the studio. Matt, how do you see this targeting call? Crown of the helmet, yes, but what do you got on attacking?
Yeah, Tom, I agree with Jordan. It's not a kill shot by any stretch, but he does lower the head. There is significant contact. This is really going to be a judgment call left up to the replay official. Is it an attack? Is it forcible contact? There definitely is an indicator with the lowering of the head. So we're going to have to see what replay comes up with.
Matt, from an official standpoint, the call on the field was targeting. How does replay take that into consideration, or do they?
They don't at all. Not anymore. They have a clean slate. They either confirm it or they overturn it. There's no stands, so the ruling on the field doesn't make any difference at all.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
I mean, I know I'm an offensive guy, but to me, it's not enough for me. Yeah. I don't see an attack. I don't see anything egregious.
After further review, there is no foul for targeting. The result of the play, first down.
And what you saw was Lynn Bowden as well lower his head. I think that's just a football play. That's contact right there. I think that's a good job by the refs of deciding what is and what isn't, and not just going by the book.
And some of the protections that would be afforded Lynn Bowden as a quarterback are waived when he becomes a runner.
Good to see him back out there.
Should he be allowed to re-enter? And that's what Jeremy Pruitt is saying. Now, the play was stopped because of the targeting and not because of an injury, so there'll be some wiggle room here. But Jeremy Pruitt saying, hey, that guy's got to sit out of play. I think they'll let it slide because they stopped the play for targeting.
No, they're going to send him out. Usually you could call a timeout if you want to
buy it back in. Yeah. And Lynn Bowden's going to have to sit out of play. They looked at targeting after play was already stopped because of Bowden's injury. And so Sawyer Smith, junior from Cantonment, Florida, at Tate High School, will enter for his second snap. Remember, he picked up a first down on a quarterback sneak in the first quarter on their first possession. Hey, Matt Austin, what do you got on that?
Well, anytime there's an injured player, he does have to sit out for at least one play. So this is the correct call by getting him out.
So Smith will turn and hand it off on his second play. And A.J. Rose is able to pick up 2. And Bowden will return.
Important to remember, Bowden went down there. If he is healthy, that's great for Kentucky because Eddie Grant has 2 different play sheets. One for Sawyer Smith and one for Lynn Bowden, and they're vastly different. So if Bowden's not able to go at any point this game, the game plan looks completely different for Smith.
Alontae Taylor showing blitz. And Rose gets folded up after a gain of 2. That's going to leave third down for this Kentucky offense, which has leaned heavily on the run. Another stop for Matthew Butler. 30 of the 34 play calls for Kentucky have been runs.
I swear I just saw Lynn Bowden give like a signal to the sideline like throw it. Like, let's throw it. And he's been pushing Eddie Grant to open this playbook up for him. I know he threw the interception earlier. That's a mistake, but let's see how much trust Grant has in his quarterback.
All of their 11 first downs have come via the run. Bowden in a passing situation is trying to scramble. Stops, reverses direction. He's got an open field to the near side, and he's looking for a block. And Bowden gets tripped up. He ran about 40 yards to gain 12 and pick up the Kentucky first down and a shrug emoji. I mean, that's like Jordan in the flu game.
Little salute to MJ. I mean, he's so dynamic, and this is great. You empty the backfield, you spread everybody out, and you let him just be an athlete, make plays. I mean, good job by the offensive line, kind of keeping it alive, understanding that no play is ever done when Bowden is still moving forward.
He's averaging 6.5 yards a carry. And he completes that one to his tight end, Justin Rigg. Pick up a 5. Great to see. And Rigg lost the football, but they say he was down. In fact, his forward progress has him all the way down to 44. Great to see former Kentucky tight end C.J. Conrad in town last night, hanging with Josh Allen. C.J. didn't steal any appetizers from us, did he?
No, he didn't. He came in late. He was eyeing the dessert.
Yeah.
But I think I ate it too fast.
We're not playing that game. Well, that ball was out.
Oh, it was completely out.
It was way out.
Was there immediate recovery?
You have to have a clear and immediate recovery. You do not have that. You get 2 players chasing it, and they will not stop play. They didn't get a buzz down in time. Rodriguez picks up 3.
And if you're a Tennessee fan right now, you are really frustrated. You're furious. You're screaming at the TV right now. It's when is the whistle blown? Yeah.
Okay, so forward progress was stopped, so it was not a fumble.
And that's the thing. It's got to be clear and immediate, but it's when that play was blown dead. So that's the right call there, so you can stop yelling at the TV.
Timeout, Kentucky.
Well, you can still yell at us.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Stop yelling at the stripes. Yell at us.
We yell at the plaids. The plaids and the stripes. 3rd and 3 when we return to Lexington.
They keep doing it.
All right, Dari, thanks. Smokey looks toasty. Lynn Bowden might end up as a 1,000-yard rusher this season, which is frankly amazing. On the draw, a little delay, and he gets a stretch. The ball came out after he was down. Second time they put it on the ground late. You think about the great running quarterbacks in SEC history, guys that have run for 1,000 yards, elite company. And this guy is a part-time starter at the position. And other great running quarterbacks, Arkansas quarterback Matt Jones, Kentucky fans remember him. He was part of that 7 overtime game here, and in that game, Houston Nutt did everything they could from a game planning perspective to free Matt Jones and get him to run. Here's 4th and 1. Not bad for a guy who started the season and through the first few games, through the first month, was just a wide receiver. They're going to use a timeout as the play clock was dwindling.
Timeout, Kentucky. 3rd and final timeout of the half.
I'll ask you about the play calling in just a moment. But first, the band. Coming up at the half, you can watch the live performance of the Wildcat Marching Band on SEC Network Plus. We'll go ahead and start streaming now on the ESPN app. What do you draw up here if you're Kentucky?
I could come right back to a little bit of what Eddie Graham's been doing, the misdirection quarterback counter. You also got A.J. Rose back there. I mean, they've had some success in these short yardage situations. I love that they took it all the way down there, used a timeout, tried to take this to the half, or give Tennessee no time if they don't get it here on 4th down to flip the field.
They're going to punt it away.
And see,
I'm really surprised by this.
I am too. I mean, you got a young quarterback on the other side. They need to get 30, 35 yards to get in field goal range. I'd go for it.
You do have a punter that's a willing runner.
Yeah.
Max Duffy wants to be a head coach in the Australian Football League when his time here is done. And a long 1st down run against Missouri that was deep in Missouri territory. Duffy will try to kill this one inside the 10. Oh, missed opportunity for the Cats. 40-yard punt and a touchback. Sunday we'll have the women's soccer tournament championship match for you right here on the SEC Network, and as always on the ESPN app. It's 3rd seeded South Carolina squaring off with the #1 seed Arkansas, 2 Eastern, 1 Central. on the Orange Beach Sportsplex in Orange Beach, Alabama, right down from Cole's condo. It's Sunday at 2. Mark Stoops' team dominating time of possession in this first half. They've held it for 21 to 29 minutes. If we keep moving at this pace, might be able to make it to Tony's for a late night stay. Oh. Brian Maurer, deep ball. Jump ball caught. Helmet lost by Marquez Callaway, and Tennessee has a chance with 8 seconds left. 38-yard completion.
Love the play call. Callaway leads the SEC in yards per catch with 21, and that's a reason right there. He's probably one of the best 50-50 jump ball guys in this entire league.
30-second timeout.
Doesn't get as many looks as Juwan Jennings, but this is what he's best at. Great call by Jim Chaney. Take a shot, why not? Got a timeout in your back pocket, try to flip the field.
Callaway got his helmet ripped off, but no flag on Jamari Brown. Volunteers use a timeout to stop the clock. Callaway can stay in the game. Walk me through the ideal Hail Mary. You got 8 seconds left and the ball at the 43.
I wouldn't be surprised if you try to get a quick out here. Yeah, try to get 4, 5, 6 yards or so. Give you a legitimate chance to kick a field goal. And if not, then you have 1 or 2 seconds to take a shot to the end zone. But
you do have a timeout left. So Maglia hit a 53-yarder last time out.
Let's see if Kentucky's going to be playing the sidelines. They're not. I mean, look at this space up here. I like a quick out there, short side of the field. I mean, that's where I'd go right now.
They go middle of the field, and the pass is incomplete. Dominic Wood-Anderson, the tight end.
That's an inaccurate pass. I mean, you got the timeout, so you can do that, but boy, I would have looked to the sideline there to my left and loved the space I had.
So you try it again. 5 seconds left. That
you got
took
time.
3 seconds.
They're playing a little tighter down there now. It's probably going to have to be a shot downfield.
Maurer, out route, out of bounds. Clock stops. Back to Wood-Anderson, that time at the sideline.
That was a friendly clock there. 1 second. Wait a minute. Wow.
Yeah, I think Coach Stoops is letting the officials know it on the sideline as well.
We got time for 4 more plays.
Exactly. This one will have to be a shot to the end zone, because normally it takes about 6 seconds for your average play. That obviously was a little quicker, but that wasn't 1 second. Should have been at least 3.
See if they correct the timing issue.
Timeout, Tennessee. 3rd and final timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Guys, press the button. Press the button. That was impressive. That play actually took no time. Clock guy should have ran off a few seconds there after he was out of bounds for good measure, just to make up for it.
Okay, real time, count it with me.
1,001, 1,002, 1,003.5. Yeah, it should be about. Did you like my counting?
Yeah, it was really good.
Thanks. Mississippi, should I said Mississippi?
Yeah, I thought you might have gone Mississippi. Because then you can come with a free rush. So 3rd and 4. Maurer certainly has the arm strength to get it there. Trips to the top of the formation.
You got Callaway and Jennings here. If this offensive line can give them enough time to buy time, 2 good jump ball guys. If they can get to the end zone, it'll be thrown to that left side, top of the screen.
Kentucky has 3 safeties back there. Deep ball, end zone, knocked away. And that's how the half will come to an end. And Jennings takes a shove. An emotional game here, a rivalry that has been primarily orange. It's been black and blue for Kentucky. Cash Daniel ran over there to maybe break it up or get involved, and here's Kentucky breaking up the pass. And we got a flag now. It looked like the Tennessee support staff was in there trying to pull their guys away.
Yeah, I think both sides were in there, Tom.
Cole, break them up down there, huh? Yeah. Mix it up. Get in there.
Lynn Bowden has not mixed it up. He's been a running threat, and that is it. 3 of 5 through the air. But Bowden already 93 yards on the ground. And the officials have yet to make an announcement on the flag if it is offsetting or if it is simply on Tennessee.
After the end of the half, unsportsmanlike conduct, Tennessee assistant coach. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced to begin the second half.
Jeremy Pruitt's not going to be happy with that. Let's go to the field. Cole standing by with Mark Stoops.
Coach Stoops, can you just take me through the final few seconds of the first half, starting with the decision to punt, not go for it down in your own territory?
Well, once I used the timeout there, that was the last timeout I had. Even if we went for it and got it, it would have been tough for us to, go down and score there with no timeouts. So I thought the smart decision was to kick it.
Is this the style of football game you wanted tonight, and can you continue it for 2 more quarters?
Well, we had an opportunity. I think the turnover, we had a chance there. We had them on the ropes and had good field position. We took a shot and threw the interception there. That's the big play of the half. Outside of that, I felt like we were in pretty good control, but it's going to be a tough second half.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
We got a clear look at the penalty flag that will be assessed at the half. Watch the Tennessee coach come in at the tail end of this one, ostensibly to pull his guys out, but when he gets in the Kentucky guy, that's going to get a flag.
A little forearm shiver.
This one not void of entertainment value. Neither is the studio show. Let's get you back to Dari, Chiz, and Doring. Gentlemen.
I think it's time to let go.
It's the 115th meeting between these two border battle teams. Pushes towards the goal line, and he is in. Pass to Cavassier. Touchdown, Kentucky. The story of the second half will be change, with Kentucky leading Tennessee by 10. Mark Stoops hasn't had to change a thing offensively. They've been run heavy behind their quarterback, Lynn Bowden Jr., and the Vols haven't been able to stop it. Jeremy Pruitt will make a change for his offensive side of the ball. Jarrett Guarantano, we're told, will start the second half for Tennessee, a major change for the Vols offense. And with that, we welcome you back to the broadcast booth. Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, Cole Kublik down on the field. Why does Tennessee make that change now?
Well, I think they realize they can't really run the football. They've only run 23 plays now, but they haven't had some success running the football. They got to throw to get back in this game. And Guarantano is the most talented passer. He's got more experience. He can fix things in the run game as well. Get them in the right play if Kentucky's overloading a certain side.
Let's go back to Kentucky real quick. How does Kentucky continue to have success running the ball when they've been so run dominant?
Well, they just keep doing what they've been doing, but you guarantee that Jeremy Pruitt is going to have an adjustment for this second half. For some of the triple option that we've seen out of that inverted wishbone, some of the unbalance. So find out what his adjustment is, and Eddie Gran will have to readjust after that as well. But keep doing what you're doing. They're controlling the game right now exactly how they want to.
Remember the unsportsmanlike penalty at the end of the half that will move Kentucky's kickoff to midfield. One of Jeremy Pruitt's assistant coaches got in the middle of the scrum. And so the Cats will drive it out of the back of the end zone. And let's get down to the field and check in with Cole.
Tom, speaking with Jeremy Pruitt coming off the field, he said exactly what Jordan did. It's not just Jarrett Guarantano's ability to be able to throw the football. He believes he can get them in better situations when they need to run the football, albeit get into the right plays at the right times and potentially get out of the wrong plays at the wrong times. On defense, he said no major adjustments. We will make a few. He was more disappointed with the penalties and allowing third down conversions. He said we changed that. We feel like we're right back in this game.
So Guarantano off the bench to start the second half. Tennessee only down by 10 in a game that's been dominated by Kentucky's run game and allowed the Cats to dominate time of possession. On play action, a bootleg, and Guarantano scrambles, and we got a flag on the end of the play after a 5-yard run.
I think that's going to be defensive holding. Good decision there by Jarrett Guarantano, escaping the pocket to hold that one down. Good coverage on the outside. But
holding on the defense, number 4. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run will result in a first down.
First
little
flag
too
on-
good of coverage.
Yeah, first flag in Kentucky, by the way, in this game. So here's Jarrett Garantano, fourth-year junior out of Lodi, New Jersey. His dad in the Rutgers Hall of Fame as a wide receiver, played briefly in the NFL and the Canadian Football League. All smiles with Jeremy Pruitt there, but it hasn't been an easy road between the two this season. Garantano, as Jordan mentioned, puts him in the right plays, but he's also made some head-scratching decisions over the course of the year. We'll elaborate on that later. Garantano lets this one go deep. Man coverage, leaping grab made. And now they say, yes, Marquez Callaway had it. A gain of 33, and there's the Garantano impact.
Yeah, you see the arm talent, you see the accuracy. That's what you know he brings, but the reason he's coming off the bench for a 6th game this season and hasn't been able to retake that starter position is the decision making. You'll see throws like that. You'll see accuracy, and then you'll see a few that you're like, what are you doing? And that's been the problem for Tennessee's offense this year.
Big grab by the senior from Warner Robins, Georgia, Marquez Callaway. The game starter, Brian Maurer, won't finish this one. 2nd and 5 for Garantano. Empty backfield. Strike over the middle. Touchdown, Tennessee. Dominic Wood Anderson. Flag on the play. Flags back at the 21-yard line.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense, number 81 was covered up. 5-yard penalty for the previous spot. Repeat, 2nd down.
The other tight end, Austin Pope, was covered up and went out on a pass route.
You're going to see him here on the left side of your offensive line. Ty Chandler went out, lined up at receiver, and covered up Austin Pope, which means he's ineligible, which is a brutal blow for Tennessee because it was a complete blown coverage by Kentucky. Look at that safety rolling over, getting the slot receiver, not even noticing that Dominic Wood Anderson was going out for a route. Tennessee can't catch a break.
So instead of 6, it's 2nd and 10. Double pass coming. Juwan Jennings can throw it. And just a hair too much. Trying to find Austin Pope. Talking to Mark Stoops and defensive coordinator Brad White about Juwan Jennings. They said he's a guy we have to respect as a passer. When they run Wildcat, you got to stay home on your guys.
Yeah, a little double pass here through behind the line of scrimmage and had a step there for a second. It's not a bad ball either, but great job by Kentucky of rallying and getting back in place and making it difficult on Juwan Jennings. Now you got 3rd and long. I'd go back to Juwan Jennings if I'm Garantano.
Garantano's going to have to run for it. Gets a key block on the edge and is able to step forward for the first down. Tim Jordan cleared a path to a gain of 11.
Oh, what a big pickup. Good coverage to the field. You can see he's going to work his eyes to the right at first. And then use his feet in that block right there. That's what got him the first down. Tim Jordan there. He's the physical back of the group of running backs that they have. And flex on him a little bit.
Decleated Brandon Eccles. Garantano exits the game. He had hand surgery in the week before the UAB game and played with it taped up. He's been in a cast this week, we're told, and now having an issue with the snap for Brian Maurer.
And I'm not sure why they brought Maurer in there. You know, we were talking to Jeremy Pruitt yesterday. He said, for Brian Maurer to be ready to play, he's got to take 90% of the snaps.
Yeah.
And so maybe they were running a trick play or a gadget play or something that Garantano had not repped. So you bring Maurer back in, but that, again, just a critical mental error. That's now 2 of them in the last 4 plays.
Garantano's got screws in his left hand. You'll see the extra padding on the outside of that receiver's glove. On 2nd and 12. Into the end zone. Leaping grab. touchdown, Marquez Callaway. They get the 6 back that they lost on the flag.
Marquez Callaway is a grown man right now. I mean, that's 3 50-50 balls that he has just snatched away from Kentucky defenders. And again, I mean, that is not easy. The hand strength, the body control, the ball skills.
Opening drive, it's a bad snap, and the kick somehow finds its way through. They haven't missed a point after in 5 years, and Cimaglia saves that one. 212 consecutive have gone through the uprights. Garantano, immediate impact off the bench to start the second half, and he makes it a field goal game.
I'm a tip.
Derek Garantano enters the game in the second half and promptly throws the first touchdown of the game for Tennessee, finding Marquez Callaway from 17 yards out. And we got a brand new game here early in the third quarter. Jeremy Pruitt has done a remarkable coaching job this season. Tennessee essentially is playing right now with 63 scholarship players. That's fewer than some MAC teams. The limit is 85. They haven't been there for a while. On the return, out to the 20-yard line. Let's return to the studio. Here's Dari.
Yeah, guys, with a virtual must-win because of their remaining schedule, South Carolina not in good shape against Appalachian State. Zach Thomas in from a yard out. It is Mountaineers up 20-9 in Columbia late third.
Wow. App coming off their first loss of the season last week at home against Troy. More unbeatens have, pardon me, against Georgia Southern. More unbeatens have since fallen, including Penn State. Going down on the road today in the Twin Cities. Lynn Bowden Jr. waiting for a hole to open and finds 3. Okay, so we discussed this just briefly. But if you're Tennessee, why not sell out, go man coverage, and force Lynn Bowden to try to beat you through the air?
Yeah, I think you have to. I mean, initially against Bowden, until you really know what they're trying to do, you want to keep things in front of you. Leave a couple safeties, a little lower, but with eyes to both the pass and the run. Now, sell out. Stack the box. Make Lynn Bowden beat you with his arm.
Logan Stenberg will exit for Kentucky. Senior, preseason second-team All-America. Number 71 right in the middle of your screen. Tough to see. Rose. And he gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Aubrey Solomon back on the field for Tennessee. And the tenor of this game is starting to shift.
And that's the difference right there. 8 defenders stacked in the box, just 1 safety high, man coverage on the outside. And that closes up all those holes. The misdirection doesn't affect you when you have equal linebackers, 2 on one side and 2 on the other, to sit there and wait for the run to come their direction.
Training staff checking on Stenberg, their longtime starter. Bowden's only 3 of 5 in this game. And he gets tripped up and taken down in the backfield. Another big-time stop for Tennessee's defense. Darrell Taylor with his 7th sack of the season. And Jeremy Pruitt's defense flexes its muscles. They'll force a 3 and out.
And he's a monster, Taylor. Second among active SEC players in career sacks with 17. And here's why. He's got a double team, and he's able to come off it and just at least get an arm on Bowden and slow him down. Look at the balance and the athleticism there. As he's going down, gets an arm out and gets Bowden down on a crucial 3rd down.
So Max Duffy on to punt it away. He'll run into this one. Give his coverage team time to get down. That's a beautiful kick. Eric Gray backed up. Tried to juke, and he makes his way out to the 31-yard line. 55-yard punt, 5 on the return. Tennessee's invigorated offense will return to the field under Garantano next. Garantano's only played one series, but he is 2 of 2 for 50 yards. Better than half the total of Maurer played the entire first half. He's got big receivers who know how to go up and get it.
Yeah, and when he's playing confident, he's really good. Does a good job of tucking the ball when he needs to. And this throw right here puts it on the back shoulder of his big-bodied receiver, gives him an opportunity. Drives like that, when you come into a game cold with your team down, that gives everybody around you the confidence in your ability, which I think hasn't quite been there for Garantano this entire season.
Callaway at 6'2", Jennings at 6'3". He's certainly gotten taken down a notch or two, especially after his ill-fated decision at a quarterback sneak at Alabama. They're going to open up the offense again. Garantano goes underneath. This is Jauan Jennings, and Jennings gets flipped at midfield, a gain of 29.
And you can feel it right now. There's a rhythm to this Tennessee offense. If you're sitting at home going, why hasn't this guy been playing the whole time? Well, it's because what you just mentioned, that Alabama quarterback sneak, some of the decision-making that he's gone, for lack of a better term, rogue on, has lost in the locker room at times. Guys lost faith in him, and you can't be successful at that position if guys don't believe in you or trust you.
The Alabama play the Tennessee fans are very familiar with is just one example, we're told, of several times this season where Garantano has changed the play call. Garantano over the middle. That's complete. It's Marquez Callaway. Callaway and Jennings are now in a rhythm, too. In fact, Jauan Jennings recently walked into Jeremy Pruitt's offense and said, Garantano is a quarterback that gives us the best chance to win.
And it's throws like these. I mean, this is tight coverage on the outside. The ball is right on time. Perfect timing. Again, can he keep up the consistency? Because those type of plays haven't been the issue. It's the one or two that happened that really hurt his team.
Callaway over 100 yards rushing and out of the ground game, and nothing there for Gray, dropped by T.J. Carter.
Going back to that previous play, guys, one thing Jared Garantano has not been used to in his Tennessee career, protection. He's had pretty good protection so far here tonight.
Yeah, the numbers were ugly last year, Cole.
He was hit a lot last year. Pretty much every time he dropped back to throw the football. And sometimes it was disgusting to watch the kind of protection that he got a year ago, but good to see it's picked up here tonight.
And Wanye Morris, his true freshman left tackle, back in the game after getting benched on that third or fourth series. Keep an eye on him.
Morris gave up 2 sacks in the UAB game. Garantano changing something here. 2nd and 10. Goes through his progressions, delivers it high, and it'll be a gain of 3 to Ramel Keaton.
See Wanye Morris right here, number 64, just working on a double team on Calvin Taylor. But he got beat a few times last week at UAB, got beat early in this game, got pulled for Jameer Johnson. Now he's back in that game. He's got a ton of talent. He's just got a propensity to take a play or two off and get beat.
Jennings in motion. Tennessee has struggled on 3rd down tonight. Garantano escapes pressure, delivers a strike. Josh Palmer turns it upfield, and Tennessee's into the end zone. Jarrett Garantano has thrown 2 touchdown passes out of the bullpen for the Vols.
You want to earn back some trust? Do something like this. Great job stepping up in the pocket. And you see how he moved that football? Moved the football out of the way of danger, made a great throw. And let's see if Palmer's knee, that's going to come back. That knee is down. Doesn't get it back up in time. They're going to probably take a look at this one. But a heck of a play by Garantano.
Really on the field with a catch and a touchdown. Previous play is under review.
So it seems pretty evident. Palmer's knee was down. It's going to come back out to the 15-yard line. And it'll be a Tennessee first down. Talking with Jeremy Pruitt about Garantano and some of that decision making, he quite frankly didn't have an answer for much of it.
No, because you watch the tape, and last year, I mean, numbers were excellent.
Yeah.
At times, he had a lot of pressure on him. His jersey was green after a lot of games from the grass, but he played well last year. You expected him to take a big jump this year, and just you haven't seen it. Rudimentary plays or plays that are day one install plays that he should know like the back of his hand. He'll go through the wrong progression and just inexplicably.
After first review, the receiver caught the ball, was down at the 15-yard line. Therefore, it'll be 1st and 10 for Tennessee at that spot.
So they bring the offense back on the field.
20 seconds in the game.
Take 6 off the board. Last year, Jarrett Guarantano threw only 3 picks, fewest among any 12-game starter, and the fewest at Tennessee since the great Condredge Holloway in 1972. Guarantano, 6 of 6 tonight.
$7.20, 7-2-0. Thank you.
Little rollout for Guarantano. Everybody's covered, so he'll scramble. And he picks up 3. It's those little things that Jeremy Pruitt loves about him in terms of getting personnel in the right position pre-snap. Some of these other quarterbacks in this roster can't do.
Yeah, like you saw right there, Callaway was coming down in motion, didn't come down far enough. You know, in the middle of it, he goes, oh, come a little closer. It's just the intricacies of playing the position that with the other guys like Brian Maurer, he's a true freshman. He can't be expected to know that much at this point. That's kind of what helps this offense hit on all cylinders when Guarantano plays mistake-free.
7th play of the drive. Man coverage, lob end zone. Out of bounds, Josh Palmer. Coverage by Brandon Eccles.
That was really close. The ball was a little too much air and a little too far outside, but watch that left foot.
Ooh, I got him in.
I think he's got that.
Ruling on the field was an incomplete pass. The previous play is under review.
Look at the body control. I mean, he almost does a complete 360. He's facing one direction, jumps. Look at that. Comes all the way around and gets that left foot down.
Yes. Very Baryshnikov of him.
That is a touchdown.
And so Guarantano's run will continue after the replay official takes a look at this one.
Let's make sure the ball is under control all the way through the catch because his foot is clearly in. Hey, he's got control of the football.
Kept control through the ground.
Survives the ground. It's a touchdown. And a heck of a play in the exact same spot that we saw Guarantano throw the touchdown to Callaway. Nearly an identical football, but that's an even better catch than Callaway had.
Tennessee is back in control of this game. This is a series they dominated. They won 26 straight from 1985 to 2010. They won this game last year in Knoxville.
After further review, the runner possessed the ball and came down to the end zone with 1 foot. Therefore, the result of the play is a touchdown.
Tennessee with its first lead of the night after the second touchdown pass from Guarantano. Tennessee started 0-2. They are 1-4 after blowout losses to Florida and Georgia, and then suddenly they got right. Last snap was an adventure for Tennessee. Joe Doyle is the holder. Riley Lovingood the snapper. Better, and Samaglia punches it through. 6:28 to go in the third quarter. In its border battle, Jarrett Guarantano off the bench to put the Volunteers in front of the Wildcats. Pepper. Great crowd on a cold night here in Lexington at Kroger Field. Tennessee fans a lot more comfortable now, and Kentucky thinking deja vu all over again. Those dudes are happy. Ball in the air, and no return for Kentucky. This is a series that predates the writing of America the Beautiful. It goes back to 1893, back before the Volstead Act. Bear Bryant suffered his only loss in 1958 at the hands of the Tennessee Volunteers. 97, Peyton Manning and Tim Couch had a game for the ages. Peyton would take home the beer barrel. And Philip Fulmer, who's at the game tonight, did not lose a single game to Kentucky. Finished his reign 17-0 against the Cats. Matt Roark, a wide receiver at quarterback, helped Kentucky snap their 26-game losing streak to Tennessee. Here's A.J. Rose to the 29-yard line. When you get in a series like this, and I know you played in one at Vanderbilt against Tennessee, does history matter to the guys on the field?
I think it does. I think any coach and any player would like to say, it doesn't matter. You know, I've only been here for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, but there's a stigma, and I think there's a mentality that you get in a game, you look up at the scoreboard, and if you're the team that's used to getting beat, you go, oh, shoot, it's happening again. So even subconsciously, I think it does affect you.
Kentucky last year ended a long losing streak against Florida. Pressure from the edge. Bowden wanted to throw. He's sacked again. Second time in the last 2 possessions.
And I love this adjustment by Tennessee. They are bringing pressure and stacking the line of scrimmage. Look at that, 4 across the board, 3, 4 linebackers in the box.
Latrell Bumpus gets a stack. Tennessee's got to run a bunch of dudes off. Kentucky facing a 3rd and 9. Bowden with the late pitch. Chris Rodriguez turns it upfield. It's a gain of 11 and a Kentucky first down. Was that a busted play or was that by design?
No, it's by design. It's just really good blocking on the outside by Kentucky wide receivers. You're going to see Josh Ali, number 6, come to your screen right there. That's a great job being strong and stiff on the outside. That play doesn't pick up a first down if that receiver, Ali, doesn't get that block.
14 first downs for Kentucky, 13 coming by the run, and 1 out of a penalty. Pressure coming again, both sides for Tennessee. Here's Rodriguez, and he's able to pick up 9.
Forced out by Jackson. Gain of 9. Second.
Yard to gain, Cam. Pylon on the field. And Theo Jackson forces him out just short. Wide open playbook on 2nd and 1. Needing 1. Rodriguez will find that and more. And he's shoved down the sideline by toe-to-toe. And a first down run that covers 19 yards.
And if you saw there, they went the look back, so they got down, got lined up, and they're going fast here. You count this side, you go, there's 3 guys over here, let's run that direction.
Tennessee a late run to get Bumpus on the field.
So that's the advantage, this look back right here. They get lined up. Eddie Gran gets to see how they're aligned and really just count numbers. If you're running the football, go to where there's less.
Here comes Batuli showing blitz.
Oh yeah.
Bowden taken down by Batuli after a gain of 4.
Like that adjustment there by Jeremy Pruitt. Lost contain over on the left side of that defensive line a couple times. He just says, hey, I'll replace it with a linebacker coming off the edge. Make sure we get it sealed.
13th tackle of the night for Daniel Batuli. You have 15 tackles in the South Carolina game. A couple years ago in the opener against Georgia Tech had 23 tackles. Rose can't find the edge. Tennessee waiting for him. It's Batuli again. He had help.
This is kind of no man's land for Kentucky. You got a third and about 6 or so here. This is a 2-down territory. I wouldn't be surprised if they run the football here, try to pick up 3-4 yards here, and they're going to go for it on 4th from this distance.
Option look again. Bowden trying to change direction. He ran into a wall of white and orange, led by Aubrey Solomon.
And it's clear now what Jeremy Pruitt's plan is to counteract what Kentucky was able to do so well on the perimeter in the first half. He's bringing his nickelbacks and secondary guys hard off the edge to add, like Cole said, as that contained player.
They're going to go for it on 4th and 6. No surprise here. Tennessee misaligned, and they'll have to use the timeout. Theo Jackson recognized it. They didn't have anybody on the slot.
First timeout this half.
Key play coming up for Lynn Bowden and the Kentucky offense. Back in a moment.
Have you ever worked for...
Into the tire.
Wow. And Joe Burrow, top of the list for Heisman favorites.
He might have locked it up.
Could have.
With Chase Young and what's going on with that suspension possibly looming. Tua not looking great. Jalen Hurts has been off the radar for a few games.
It's a 4th and 6 for Kentucky. Tennessee brings 4. Bowden trying to get out of traffic, ran into his own guy, stays above the ground, but finally gets taken down. It's a loss of 6. It's another Tennessee sack. The Butler did at that time.
That's a play you see on the playground when you're a little kid. Most athletic guy just running around in circles, but Tennessee does a great job here. They got stunts on each side, so they do a great job of staying in your spot. And that way Bowden wasn't able to spin around a couple times and break contain. Tennessee does a good job there of staying in your lane.
Ran into his own guy, the left tackle Landon Young. Big game for Matthew Butler, the junior out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Sharing time with Aubrey Solomon, who got banged up earlier in the game. Garantano wants to throw with a 4-point lead, lost the football, and Tennessee recovers it. Jameer Johnson was able to fall on it. Calvin Taylor Jr. tied for the league lead in forced fumbles. Picked up his 3rd.
Yeah, you're going to see Calvin Taylor right here. But watch the double team as he gets going. Watch this double team right here. Just gets a little lazy. Now he's got long arms, so he's pushing defenders away. But those double teams, yeah, it's 2-on-1, but you still got to be as firm as you are blocking a 1-on-1. And they kind of underestimated his length and power there.
If it wasn't going to be Taylor, it was going to be Carter. Garantano looks swing pass. Traffic at his feet. He escapes, and he's dropped from behind by Josh Paschal and is able to pick up just 3. Injured player on the ground for Kentucky. It's Calvin Taylor Jr. and Tennessee, as the quarter nears its end, will be looking at a 3rd and 9. What's going through Jarrett Garantano's mind?
I think he's playing confident.
He was looking for redemption, and it seems he's found it here on the road on a chilly night in Lexington. To the 4th we go. Tennessee 17, Kentucky 13. 15 minutes to decide this border battle between the Cats and the Vols. Hall of Famer, national championship coach Philip Fulmer in the suite tonight. He's got his eyes on this Tennessee team. He never lost to Kentucky in his reign as the head coach. His coach has gone to the bench for Jarrett Guarantano and is leading a big orange comeback.
Protection's been an issue. Empty formation. Keep an eye on Boogie Watson here. The ball's going to have to come out quick.
Guarantano holds it, goes over the middle, little late and low and incomplete. Trying to find Dominic Wood-Anderson. And Tennessee will punt it away with 14:55 to go in the game.
And look, that's the right place to go with the football. You just saw Guarantano there kind of hold, and then move back to the right. He was just a tick too late. If he tried to put that ball out in front, it would have been an interception. So it had to be there just a hair late to get to the right read.
Paxton Brooks had one blocked earlier in the game. Kentucky will set up a return. Josh Ali driven back to his 10. Eluded the first guy. Surrounded by orange trousers eventually. 51-yard punt, 7 on the return. Jennings with the stop. Let's take you back to 2008. Flag on the play, by the way. Jonathan Crompton with a 63-yard touchdown pass to Denarius Moore, and the Vols led 14-3. Then Lennon Creer with a touchdown run put Tennessee up 21-3. And as Philip Fulmer finished his career at Tennessee, carried off the field with the game ball.
Receiving team number 46. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
17-0 was Fulmer's record against Kentucky. He left as the second winningest coach in Tennessee history behind the general, Robert Neyland. This is the third most played rivalry behind only Auburn, Georgia, and Ole Miss, Mississippi State. They have met every year since 1919. And the team from Knoxville has absolutely dominated this series.
Great news for Kentucky on this drive. Left guard Logan Stenberg back in the game. Had been his left shoulder getting evaluated, but that's a big get if you're going to try to grind this out of the ground.
And bad news for Tennessee. Cornerback Bryce Thompson, 3 picks last week, is out for the remainder of this game with a knee injury. Replaced by Alontae Taylor, standing at the 10. Rodriguez bottled up. Finds 2.
And look at Tennessee right now. They're just daring Kentucky to throw the football. Watch this. They got one safety high. They're playing off, and there is all these guys in the box. But what I like about that, they're not all tight between the tackles because Kentucky's been getting on the edge. So they're spread out a little bit, keeping everything in front of them. Kentucky's got to find a way to counteract that.
They go with the same look here, rolling up Warrior at the safety spot. Bowden needed a block and got it. Throws on the run, and it's complete. What kind of route concepts would be most successful against a single high safety?
Well, just getting the ball out of your hands. So anytime you have a soft zone on the outside, especially one high, your hitches on the outside, easy, quick throws. But if it's me, you got to put more than one receiver to each side in order to give Bowden a chance. You don't want him taking a 3-step drop and throwing a hitch route against a corner that's got eyes on it. So right there, get him outside the pocket, move the pocket, and shorten that throw for him.
We haven't seen their best receiver, Ahmad Wagner. He's out with an injury, and that really means, if you think about it like this, Kentucky's without their 2 best receivers because Bowden is their best typically when he's not playing quarterback. Run heavy, an understatement. Another run, and a big one for Chris Rodriguez into the secondary, and he takes it to the 44-yard line. A 24-yard run.
That's a great job by Drake Jackson, the center for Kentucky. Watch this reach block right here. This is going to be what really seals it. He gets on the other side of a 3 technique. That is not an easy block, but gets Rodriguez to the second level.
He got out of there quick, too.
Yeah, he
Love
did.
it.
He's got to go 2 full gaps and reach the guy. That's a great block by a veteran center.
Out of Woodford County High School, 26th consecutive start at center. Not much for Rodriguez. He's able to get 2. Another stop for Matthew Butler. Lamont Wagner, former Iowa basketball player, averages 19 yards a game, which isn't much, but it's the best that Kentucky has to offer because they simply haven't been able to throw the ball last few weeks. A couple of games played in driving rainstorms against Georgia and Missouri. Rodriguez again. He breaks free again. And we got a flag, multiple flags back inside the 50. And we got pushing and shoving. And another flag. And that's going to be costly against Tennessee, it seems like. And it seems Batuli stuck around too long.
That's a bummer for Tennessee because I think they're going to get Kentucky with a hold on the outside. Or the tight end, I believe. But
you'll have a personal foul penalty coming.
Yeah.
Jeremy Pruitt getting the explanation, one he does not like. It'll be an automatic first down, it seems, and a personal foul penalty, even if there was a 10-yard holding
While the ball
penalty.
is alive, holding, offense number 83. That penalty is 10 yards in the previous spot. We'll repeat the down in just a second. After play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 79, defense number 35. Those fouls were offset and the penalties were canceled. That's the first unsportsmanlike conduct foul for both of those players.
Jeremy Pruitt has asked the question, what did my guy do? And he has not gotten an explanation he likes. Watch the right side of your screen, and this is the hold from Justin Rigg.
That's a good call there. It's a hold right at the point of attack. Oh, man.
You don't think it was earned?
I don't think it's earned on either side there.
Stenberg was playing some leg games with Batuli, just like Cash Daniel does on one side of the ball. Stenberg does the same. It has backfired on him multiple times this season, including a key personal foul penalty in the Florida game.
Oh, what a field position change.
Eight in the box. Kentucky trying to run against it. And Batuli comes in along with Solomon to stop A.J. Rose.
And now that Tennessee is stacking the box a little bit more, I would expect Eddie Grand to start to go to some of the unbalance. Maybe even see that wishbone again. Any way you can get extra blockers to one side and try to counteract the balanced front that Tennessee's given.
They've only thrown it 6 times tonight. This is a 3rd and 14. Bowden 4 of 6, 25 yards and a costly interception when Kentucky was driving in the first quarter. Bowden dancing in the pocket, chased from behind, loses the man, and he's going to uncork one. Jump ball, knocked down by Tennessee's Daniel Batuli. Bowden threw caution to the wind. We got a flag back at the 25-yard line. And Batuli slow to get up.
Personal foul, roughing the passer.
Wow.
Defense, number 94. 15-yard penalties in the previous spot. Automatic first down.
And the drive stays alive for Kentucky.
Wow. I don't hate the decision from Bowden. Look, I mean, he threw that up with nothing but a prayer, but essentially it's kind of like a punt. One down early. It's a 3rd and long anyway. Throws this up, hopes something happens. And that's what the flag was on right there. Bowden knew it right away. That's just one that it's not so much the contact, it's finishing it to the ground. If you can make that contact and hold up a little bit, you might not get that flag. But you finish the hit. They're going to call that almost every time.
Daniel Batuli will leave the game for at least a snap. He's replaced by a redshirt freshman. Number 6, J.J. Peterson. Batuli, the team leader on defense. He's got 14 tackles tonight.
Is that good?
Here comes the end around. Josh Ali. His quarterback couldn't get him the block he wanted. Nigel Warrior with a fantastic open field stop. And the result is a 3-yard gain.
Not even the open field stop, but running through the block. That's just an excellent job playing physical football by Nigel Warrior.
Now, Warrior's been all over the place. Batuli has as well, as we noted, 14 tackles. But Warrior does a great job here of coming from the second level. And like Cole mentioned, running through the block. Look at that. And making the tackle.
Batuli back on the field for Tennessee now. 2nd and 7. Option. Rose can throw out of this. He gets turned around. And he gets taken down. Latrell Bumpus. It's a loss of 8. Kentucky was trying to trick him, Cole. We had an inkling this might be coming, but it turns into a major loss.
You have to try to throw some wrinkles into it at some point in time. Keep the defense honest. Just had too much out on the perimeter there to get it going.
He had one wide receiver downfield. I believe it was Ali. And the Cats left with a 3rd and 15.
Again, no man's land here. If they can get 8 to 10, another situation where they go for it on 4th. Don't need to get all 15 on this play.
Tennessee brings 4. Bowden will outrun one guy and slide past another. He's going to be a couple of 3 yards short after a 13-yard scramble.
If you're Eddie Gray, and that's perfect. Exactly what you wanted. Call a pass play. If nothing's there, use your legs. Get me in a situation where I can call a play on 4th. Well, Tennessee's got to get lined up.
Tennessee went twists up front last time. I wouldn't expect it again because you lose your rush lane integrity automatically when that happens.
And Bowden can certainly take advantage. Tennessee stopped him on their last 4th down. Bowden going deep. Air underneath it and incomplete. And Kentucky will turn it over on downs. Ali defended by Kenneth George Jr. Rejection for Bowden. Tennessee takes the ball back nearly to the midway point in the 4th quarter of this rivalry game. Much maligned quarterback Tennessee quarterback Jerry Garantano. Redemption is within reach tonight.
And he's such a different player when he's confident. I think he was a little shell-shocked at times early in this year, and that's why he was playing bad. But when he's confident, the ball comes out on time. You see the arm talent, the accuracy, and Chris Weinke doing a great job of developing Garantano coming off the bench. That's not an easy thing to do for a quarterback.
Tennessee has a pair of national championship quarterbacks on their staff. Weinke with Florida State, and the great T. Martin with Tennessee in '98. Here's Ty Chandler. He finds 5. And an injured Kentucky player at the end of that play. DeAndre Square remains down. Tennessee's defense has turned it up. Last 2 Kentucky possessions, each 9-play drives, both ended at the Tennessee 38-yard line. Both 4th down stops. They'll tend to Square. We'll take a moment. Back to Kroger Field.
What beats Nick?
He essentially has 3 linebackers for 2 spots. They don't want to lose DeAndre Square, and an ugly injury at the tail end of this play as he gets landed on by tight end Austin Pope. Pope, 81, watch Square's ankle. Boom. Not supposed to bend like that. It's a pivotal game for both sides. More so for Tennessee. Should they lose this one, it can be hard to make it to a bowl. Ball loose. mishandled handoff, and Kentucky surrounds it. Ty Chandler coughs it up, and the Cats take it back. Marquand McCall, the sophomore out of Detroit, is able to find it, and Kentucky has life.
The inexcusable and inexplainable mistakes that Kentucky makes.
The Tennessee makes.
Yes, excuse me, the Tennessee makes. As I'm trying to watch there on the exchange to see what happened. You know what's interesting? Garantano has screws in his left hand.
Yep.
So as he's been handing off in that direction, he has to be a little more firm with his right hand, which means the back of his right hand hits the stomach of the running back first. Watch this. Watch his right hand. It's still on the ball there, and it almost scoots it forward in a way.
Back to Kentucky ball. Bowden taken down by Warrior, but he's able to pick up 9.
He's not able to grip the football as strongly and firmly with his left hand as he would like, so his right hand gets involved there. And I firmly believe that's why that ball pops out.
Yep, created a buffer between the ball and the belly. Bowden over 100 yards rushing again. He averaged 200 against Arkansas and Missouri.
I don't know.
Kavosiey Smoke picks up 5. Lynn Bowden last 4 games has run for 600 yards.
It's unreal. Kentucky's been able to get Tennessee out of that 8-man box by going 3 receivers to the top side.
Smoke again, 5 yards.
By going 3 receivers to one side, now you force Tennessee to say, hey, you either man up and go no safety over the top, then you're going to have 6 or 7 in the box, or you leave them all on an island, you add that safety, and you're susceptible to throwing the football downfield. So good job by Eddie Gran of finding a formation to get Tennessee out of the 8-man box that was giving Kentucky such fits running the football.
Smoke and Rodriguez behind Bowden. Here's Rodriguez. 2 yards that time.
Eddie Gran's going to hit this defense with the counter in a minute. They've run 4 consecutive zone plays. Defense beginning to feel that flow. That's when that counter backside pulling somebody around could be efficient.
So when as a linebacker, when you get a little tired, discipline. Discipline. Don't get fooled by the movement in the backfield. Read your keys of the offensive linemen. They'll take you where you need to go.
Rodriguez sidesteps the guy. He's able to pick up a Kentucky first down. And Kentucky carries it inside the red zone. 64 plays, 57 rushes for Kentucky.
This is just a good hard run. You see Aubrey Solomon almost blows it up in the backfield, and Rodriguez makes a great read, sidesteps, and gets vertical.
Here's Smoke. And Kavosiey Smoke takes it inside the 15. Henry To'oTo'o with the tackle for Tennessee.
On the tackle, the
This is where Eddie Gran has got to be happy, taking as much time off the clock as possible. Yes, you're still behind, but with 4 minutes left, you want to continue to see this clock move and keep it on the ground. Again, see 3 receivers to the top, which means Tennessee can only have 7 in the box, and really that corner is not quite in the box.
Kavosiey Smoke again. Ravaris Crouch with the stop for Tennessee. 3rd and 2.
This ball is going to have to be run up the middle. You see Tennessee, unless they check out of it, they're walking up to bring pressure off that bottom side. It looks like they checked out of it, went to more of a base set.
Here it comes from the edge. Bowden running the opposite way. Inside the 10. A Kentucky first down. Bowden wants tempo now.
And it's a good job by Eddie Grant, recognizing they were going to bring pressure. Tennessee checked out of it, but still brought pressure from that side. And the run went to the opposite side.
They'll trade a wide receiver for a tight end. Upshaw and Rigg will anchor the offensive line. Rodriguez bounces, and he can't bounce free. He only finds one on the edge. 2nd and goal.
And here's where it really hurts.
Injured player, sorry.
Is that Aubrey Solomon?
Solomon again. 2nd time he'll have to leave the game due to injury.
He's been playing really well up front, disruptive against those double teams, especially in this second half. I'd say this, down here in the red zone's where it hurts not having Ahmad Wagner.
Yep.
Your 6'6" wide receiver. There's a big height advantage. Tennessee doesn't have anybody that's bigger than 6 foot.
Tennessee.
On the outside, their starters are all 5'11".
Second and goal. Solomon helped off. We'll bring it back to Kroger Field for the finish of this one in just a moment. Here in Lexington, Kentucky looking to reclaim the lead. They've got a 2nd and goal. What do you do?
I keep the ball in number 1's hand. I wouldn't be surprised seeing the running back and the tight end to the same side. If they come with like quarterback power, give him 2 lead blockers and try to get downhill.
Bowden running behind those blockers, trying to sneak through, and he finds 2, and that'll be 3rd and goal from the 3.
That's what's great about that. They line up those blockers to the right side, and they cross the line of scrimmage and run a quarterback power to the left.
Tennessee uses a timeout. This drive, 10 plays old for a Kentucky team that has done a fantastic job controlling the clock most of the game. So Lynn Bowden Jr. has been fantastic at quarterback. Work with me here. Let's say Kentucky's able to punch this in. Jarrett Guarantano is finally playing with confidence.
And playing well. I mean, obviously, you never want to be behind with 2 minutes left, but Guarantano is playing well. You have 2 talented receivers on the outside.
2 minutes, 11 seconds.
Even if Kentucky scores, it's a ball game.
Okay, let's rewind to Kentucky's decision here. Is there any reason for Tennessee to defend the pass?
Not at all. No, Kentucky has got to keep the ball on the ground. Tennessee has no more timeouts. So even if you get to 4th down, then you can make your decision, but that clock's got to run.
Here we go. This rivalry game coming down to the wire with 2:11 left. And Lynn Bowden has been virtually unstoppable in the ground game. He's run for 114.
You keep this on the ground, you keep the clock going no matter what, even if you don't punch it in. That gives you the opportunity on 4th to decide run or pass from maybe, hopefully, the 1 or 2 yard line.
We got a flag. Tennessee had 12 men on the field.
Legal substitution. Defense, 12 players in formation.
How does that happen coming out of a timeout?
I have no idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No idea. That shouldn't happen. I mean, it's the secondary. Heard a different personnel than everybody else.
Does that change anything from a play calling perspective, half the distance?
Not at all. I think you keep the same play on. I was hoping they'd keep it on the ground anyway. So I expect
same formation.
A downhill run from number 24, Chris Rodriguez.
Rodriguez stood up at the line of scrimmage. Got a freshman, Henry To'oTo'o.
What a play by that young freshman. Walked to the locker room with a knee injury. Thought maybe he was done for the day. He's got a big brace on that right knee, but just does a great job of staying home here on the left side and eating up a big physical running back in Christopher Rodriguez.
4th and goal. Here's the game. Kentucky trailing.
And Bowden is lining up at slot right now.
They'll motion back in to get in the shotgun in front of Rodriguez. Option. Bowden keeps it, and he's stopped! Tennessee turns Kentucky over on downs for the 3rd time this half. Daniel Batuli has dominated this game defensively for Tennessee. He's got 19 tackles for the Volunteers. None bigger than this.
Well, they try to get Bowden on the edge, but Batuli and Tennessee stretch this out. That's what you want to do against an option. Stretch it out to the sideline as much as possible. And a monster stop for Tennessee.
The Tennessee offense over the ball, trying to get it out of their end zone, essentially. And Garantano hands it off to Tim Jordan. Cole, you got a bird's eye view of Garantano's left hand. How do you think that impacts Tennessee's run game?
It is a thick cast. It's pretty apparent when you're down here looking at it, Tom, that there's no way he can hand the football off with just that hand. So if you're Brad White, Kentucky defensive coordinator, do you load up on Tennessee's left side, knowing that they're not going to play high risk and Jim Trainey most likely not going to run to his right side because of that left hand of Jarrett Garantano not being able to stick the football out on its own and hand it off.
I remember that led to a turnover earlier this quarter when Ty Chandler couldn't handle the handoff. Brad White, the defensive coordinator for Kentucky, they need to stop. They use a timeout to stop the clock with 1:12 left. From a play calling perspective, if you're Jim Chaney, what do you go with here for Tennessee?
You got to keep it on the ground again, but this is a team that has had success with the power run game. Get a lineman out in front. And I agree with Cole. I think it's either got to be a handoff directly to the offense's left, so Garantano can use his right hand, or a counter that starts on the right and cuts back. Excuse me, starts on the left and cuts back to the right.
Jordan is his running back. Another run to the left side. They stop him, and they'll be able to stop the clock. 1:08.
And that's definitely a concern of Jim Chaney. You can see they're loading up 2 fullbacks essentially on the left side. They're saying, hey, we know, you know we're going to run it that way. We're just going to try to add more beef to that side. But Kentucky does a great job of staying stout.
If it's that simple, why not bring Brian Maurer in if all you're doing is handing it off?
That's a very good question. I'm not sure, and I'm not so sure that if I'm Jim Chaney, I don't keep that ball on the ground again.
Wow, okay.
And here's why. Lynn Bowden hasn't proven that he's able to throw the football effectively, so don't give him a timeout. Don't give him the opportunity. Make them get into a situation where they can only throw the football. So I would force Kentucky to use this last timeout. I know it's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, long 4, but make them use that timeout, punt the football, and make Lynn Bowden beat you with his arm.
Would you consider bringing Sawyer Smith into the game if you're cutting Kentucky?
And that's another question. We did see Lynn Bowden, after that last stop by Tennessee, get up a little gingerly on that ankle or whatever it was that we saw earlier in the game. So,
and no question, Smith is a better passer. But for now, it's Tennessee on offense. Looking at a 3rd and 4 with 68 seconds left. Play action. Garantano eating up clock as he eats up yards. He's going to stay in bounds and take a hit, and he picks up the 1st down, and Jarrett Garantano is going to lead Tennessee to a road win in Lexington.
That's a great play call. They come out in the exact same set that they ran the previous 2 times. I started to worry because that would have been a handoff going to the right, which is how they fumbled earlier, but great job by Jim Chaney to call his quarterback's number, fake that run that they ran the previous 2 plays, and get your athletic quarterback on the outside with a run-pass option. Garantano does a great job of just tucking it and getting the yards.
Jarrett Garantano didn't play the first half. Jeremy Pruitt brought him off the bench to start the second. And he leads Tennessee to a come-from-behind win, breaking Kentucky's hearts for the 2nd straight season.
And you got to think that moving forward, he's done enough in this game. I mean, 7 for 8, 115, no mistakes, 2 touchdowns. To me, he's got to be the guy moving forward. You start with him. I think he's won this locker room back and won back some of the trust of the coaching staff.
Sets up pretty well for Tennessee to close things out. Kelly Bryant didn't play for Missouri today. Vols go there next week, and they close with a nose-diving Vanderbilt program. Ball came loose on the snap and victory formation. There is a flag. That's the only thing that could go wrong at this point. Austin Pope able to find it. You got a quarterback with screws in his hand. Can't you bring another quarterback in just to take the snap?
That's a great point. Or do the gun snap where you take a knee. I think Kentucky might have done something a little early down there, though, in the trenches.
Interference with the snap.
Yeah.
Defense knocked the ball away from the snap before he complete his action. The penalty is 5 yards. Made 2nd down. And because the foul caused the clock to stop with less than a minute to play in the 4th period, give me a 10-second subtraction from the game clock.
Looked like
Please
Quentin
put 5
Bohanna
seconds
try
on
to
the
get
game
creative
clock.
up there.
By rule, the clock will start on ready for play signal.
I mean, you can't knock him for trying.
No, your only choice here.
You can't do that, though. You can't mess with the snap before it hits the hand of the quarterback.
That's what Brandon Kennedy is telling Bohanna now. And that's it. Bohanna launches the ball, and he's being chased down. This game, in terms of the emotions, still not done. But Jeremy Pruitt has somehow reversed course on this season for Tennessee, which started out as abysmal as any Tennessee season has started. They began 0-2. They got players back, and it looks like they got their quarterback back. Cole standing by with Coach Pruitt.
Coach Pruitt, you decided to make the switch to Jarrett Garantano at halftime. What did he give you in the second half that you didn't get in the first half?
Well, he threw the ball to the open receivers, manufactured some points for us, ran our offense extremely well, except for the one breakdown there. And to me, it looked like Ty just drops the ball. It's a pretty good half from him.
Your defense stepped up multiple times in the second half. Can you just take us through the goal line stand down here towards the end of the game?
Well, I said early in the game, or when we talked at halftime, we made a lot of mistakes in the first drive, and then we got a short field. Didn't know exactly what we were going to get. Mark and Eddie done a heck of a job with some different runs. Our kids adjusted, and they bowed their neck down here. It's a nice play.
You told us in meetings getting Daniel Batuli back, not having him the first few weeks of the season was difficult. I think he had 16 tackles tonight. What did he show you?
Well, Daniel's he's a winner, okay? He's the guys you want to coach, right? I mean, he's tough, he's physical, smart, does everything that we ask him to do. Great teammate, so I'm so happy to see him have success.
I'm going to talk to your quarterback, Jarrett Garantano, here in just a moment. How much more of your trust did he earn tonight, and how much more of his team's trust do you believe he earned tonight?
Well, I've trusted Jarrett all along, okay? But trust is earned, and it's a lot of times by your actions. So he knows that. So he's worked hard to improve. Had a great game tonight. We wouldn't have won this game without him.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Jarrett Garantano off the bench for the win. Cole's got him.
A little pound from your coach, Jeremy Pruitt there. What did he tell you at halftime?
Yeah, he said that he wanted me to come in, step in real quick, see if we can get an offensive spark. Brian was doing an okay job. I just think he wanted to step it up a little bit, and we got the job done up front.
Take us through the difficulty of handing off the football with your left hand. Let's get a look at this thing.
Yeah,
I mean, this is pretty clunky.
Yeah, it's casted up. Hurts really bad right now, but it feels a lot better now that we won. But go get some treatment. We got a bye week, got 2 big games coming up, and we're trying to get bowl eligible.
Can you take me through some of the conversations you had with your teammates after you found out at halftime you were going to be the guy at the second half?
We were okay. I mean, we were in there 13-3. I mean, we didn't have bad attitudes or anything, but going into the halftime, we knew that we had to step some things up and we had to get on a roll. And I think as soon as we came out, we were really doing that. And we really got the passing game going, and the line really did a good job up front.
You're kind of the Mariano Rivera of Knoxville here, coming off the bench multiple times to save your team. What do you feel like you earned from your teammates tonight?
They call me the 6th man in the locker room. That's pretty funny, but I don't think I earned anything, man. I really love my team, and I really do it for them. And like I said before, I didn't start off the season the right way like I wanted to, and to be able to come in and get some wins for these guys, it means a lot to me, and hopefully it means a lot to them too.
Thank you, Jarrett.
Thank you, guys.
Given his season, given the ups and downs, it really was an unbelievable performance by Jarrett Guarantano. He was the star on the offensive side. Daniel Batuli with 19 tackles was the star of Tennessee's defense, which forced 3 fourth-down stops to take the ball and the game away from Kentucky. Lynn Bowden's offense came up just short, and Tennessee continues their dominance in this border battle. 17-13 the final. Tennessee with the come-from-behind victory. For Jordan Rogers, Cole Kublik, our sensational SEC Network crew, I'm Tom Hart. So long from Lexington to the studio. It's SEC Now.
Welcome.